Welcome to the 6th Annual Local Heroes Awards hosted by Daily Dispatch. My name is Leanne Mannis and I am going to be your host for this incredible awards ceremony, and it really is an honor to be with you today. Daily Dispatch is a local news brand based in East London in the Eastern Cape and is part of Arena Holdings. Daily Dispatch started the Local Heroes Initiative in 2015 in partnership with Johnson & Johnson. Now, Johnson & Johnson have continued to be a committed sponsor that shows unwavering support for the Local Heroes Initiative. Local Heroes started in the editorial division at Daily Dispatch, intending to feature more good news stories and, of course, highlight the Eastern Cape's goodwill. Now, the campaign kicks off as early as February every single year. Daily Dispatch asks its readers to nominate ordinary community members who are doing extraordinary things and selfless work for their communities. Who is a local hero? A local hero is an individual who has gone far beyond the call of duty to make the Eastern Cape community a better place for all. The impact of these individuals on their communities are immeasurable. Daily Dispatch publishes approximately 8 nomination stories every month for 8 months, and it usually culminates into a gala ceremony in October every year. However, due to COVID-19, the 2020 Local Heroes Awards was postponed to February 2021. I was hoping to be with you last year in October. I was hoping to be with you in the flesh in February this month, but unfortunately, it wasn't meant. But we are hosting it as an online event, and I am here with you online. And this, of course, is to ensure the safety of all our participants. Daily Dispatch and Johnson & Johnson hope that this initiative encourages more people to be local heroes. I hope you will stay tuned and join us in honoring our local heroes for the next hour. And we hope that you will be inspired as much as I am by the top 12 local heroes tonight that we are going to introduce you to. Numerous individuals invest extensive preparation and hard work to make this award ceremony possible. Amongst those include the judges, who had to read through multiple published local hero stories to select the top 12 local heroes of 2020. Also, a special thank you goes to all the sponsors, including Johnson & Johnson. And to be honest with you, without Johnson & Johnson, this event would not be possible. Spa, Vincent Park, Boxer, and Boston City Campus, Daily Dispatch is proud to be associated with your esteemed brands. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, let us introduce our first local hero of 2020. Our first local hero is Nisha Varghese, who lives in East London in the Eastern Cape. At 6 months old, she was diagnosed with cerebral palsy, a permanent movement disorder. She cannot walk and her speech is slightly impaired, but she has not allowed that to get her down and has dedicated her life to helping others. Since age 13, she started raising funds for various local and international charities via crowdfunding platforms. And this is her story.
Hi, my name is Nisha Varghese. I've suffered from cerebral palsy since birth. I started crowdfunding in 2010 to help those who have less than me. I use the internet and my social network to inspire others to give and be generous in a way that truly makes a tangible difference. And my first crowdfunding project was to build a well in Kenya. It currently serves 550 people. Smile Train is basically the world's largest club charity. They provide club surgeries for children around the world who would otherwise be unable to afford it. Basically, they were already hooked up to a crowdfunding platform. And so I created a page and basically asked everybody I knew if they could maybe contribute. Obviously, I didn't just ask them. I showed them statistics, videos, and pictures of the difference that it makes. Through my Small Train project, I've helped 41 kids get cleft lip and palate surgery. I want the world to be a more equal place for everyone. Because right now, if you have money and means, you do better in life. But I want there to be a day where everybody is equal, whether you have money or not, whether you have power or not. You will have healthcare and all your human rights met.
Nisha, you're absolutely inspiring. Congratulations to you. You receive a 15,000 Rand cash prize, which has been sponsored by SPAR. Thank you so much to SPAR.
I'm deeply honored to be one of the Daily Dispatch's local heroes. Thank you so much to everybody who's been part of my journey so far. Thank you in particular to God, my parents, my siblings, my extended family, my friends, and all those who supported my campaign, without whom none of this would be possible. Thank you so much. Thank you all. Thank you also to SPAR for this award. And I would like to dedicate this award to my superhero, Catherine Constantinidis, who taught me that leadership is learning and leading from where you are in big and small ways. It is a lesson I carry with me always.
Let's meet our next local hero, Klaus Roderman. Klaus Roderman and his wife Jenny spend their days helping needy organizations and individuals in any way they can. The unemployment statistics among black youth are of particular interest to Klaus. The statistics motivated him to start It's All About Image, where he helps people write their CVs, apply for jobs, and receive donations to create or improve their businesses. He has donated equipment and essential items, and in doing so has helped many startups. This is Klaus's story.
In 2018, we needed our dogs groomed, and we got the address and telephone number of a lady who works from Imnazani, and contacted her. She arrived here with a tattered overall plastic bag with her equipment in. She didn't give a very good image, but she did a fantastic job. So we decided to actually outfit her with a professional looking kit. And that is how we started. The next step that we did after we started this project was to set up or go through CV presentations and interview skills programs and so on, and we set up our own. But out of that, we then went a little bit further and said image is not only CVs or equipment, it's everything. So if we saw some building or anything like that needed repairs, we did help. When I went to Stony Drift Crash and I saw the footpaths for the children, they're all broken, I said immediately that has to change.
He noticed things that were lacking. One of them was our floor that goes around the whole jungle gym was just full of holes and dungos and everything. They blasted this activity of blessing upon this place that moved not only us as a school, but the community was extremely blessed.
He got involved with the hospital. We heard about these babies that come with no clothes and no nothing. And then he phoned and spoke to them and arranged everything to go. And then there was a lady who was going to give her baby up for adoption. So I asked her would it help if I give her a packet maybe. So I gave her this packet. And she was so excited. And then she said to the sister, she's changed her mind. She's not going to give up the baby because people do care.
I think it's important that one looks at the big picture of the well-being of the people, of making them aware that there is more to it in life.
Klaus and Jenny, the two of you are absolutely unbelievable. You receive a 15,000 Rand cash prize, and this has been sponsored by Vincent Park. Congratulations to you.
We are a small charity organization run by 3 people. My wife Jenny, who administers our project Welcome to the World, donating baby gift bags to underprivileged mothers with newborn babies. My daughter Heidi, who is in charge of creating good ideas for our charity, and me, the public officer. Am I allowed to say that we really are thrilled for receiving this award? I can hardly believe we got there. I want to scream and jump a little, but tomorrow we will be back doing what we like doing best. I want to close with 2 proverbs. Referring to my age, I will be 80 soon, which I would say, you are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. And lastly, something which was taught to me from my first day at school and which has been my guideline throughout my life. If something can be done better, good is not good enough. Thank you.
Our next local hero is Sue Creel. Sue Creel established the Pet Pals shelter in 2011 and lives in Wilsonia, East London. Many animals have found sanctuary at Pet Pals shelter over the past 9 years. Sue looks after dogs covered in mange crusts, dogs that are dehydrated, burnt and wounded, beaten and are unable to walk, to those who are on the brink of death. Pet Pals is home to 182 dogs and more than 100 cats. It is a safe house for abandoned and mistreated animals. She is in the process of opening a clinic so that they can do sterilizations on site at the shelter. This is Sue's story.
Well, we started in 2011, but in 2010, that is when I decided to try and open up a sanctuary, because I felt East London needed a sanctuary, because we only have an SPCA, where an animal can come in where they'll feel secure, where they have never known what a home is, they've never known what a bed is, they've never known what it's like to get a bowl of food and have fresh water. And that was a problem to me. Each kennel does have its own little area that the dog does not sit in a kennel all day. Plus they all get a turn to go out into the runs, and they get walked every Sunday. We take in abused animals and we rehabilitate them, get them back to health, and we take in abandoned animals. We also have to take in animals that people have left and gone overseas, or they've had to move and they can't accommodate their animals at the new place. You know, when I see it, I just say, thank the Lord that you have come to us, because I can only help you from here. If they need to see emergency a vet, we do take them straight away to a vet, for the vet to diagnose what is going on with this animal. It's a very hard sore to begin with. You feel you've got to be strong for this animal. But when you see it 6 weeks, 8 weeks later, coming up to you, giving you love, giving you hugs and kisses, and seeing the happiness, that you forget about the sad cases.
What an absolutely heartwarming story. Sue, you're amazing. You receive a 15,000 Rand cash prize, all thanks to Johnson & Johnson.
First of all, I would like to thank Johnson & Johnson, one of the biggest sponsors, for this wonderful event, and to the Daily Dispatch for being so kind and so helpful to us, getting us sort of through these little alleyways that you did without telling us what was going on. And to all the other sponsors, it really means a lot to get this together. And I know it's a lot of hard work on your side. What Pet Pals actually does is basically we take in an animal that has not got a home, and we make it their forever home if there is no other. So that is what we are there for them for. I'd also like to thank my staff and my committee members and my husband that actually puts up with me bringing home these very, very sick animals that I have to give them extra 24-hour care. So I really thank you very much for being there for me and always supporting me. But thank you so much again to Johnson & Johnson and to all the sponsors in East London. I think this has been a wonderful thing, and I'm very proud to have been nominated. I really am. I never expected it, never. I didn't think I was a hero.
Before we reveal our next hero, let's take a look behind the news with Daily Dispatch journalists in the following video as we find out about the daily challenges they face in uncovering the truth. They reveal how those stories affect them and why local heroes is so important to the newsroom.
The 30th of August marked the first year anniversary of the death of Leandre Baby Lee Jechels. It was emotional because, yes, it's Women's Month, but it's how she died. And it's getting there and not wanting to pry, but at the same time you are interested in getting the story from their parents.
One story in particular was when the mayor of East London hired or employed his son to head the legal department at the municipality. That was a very difficult story for me because it took me 3 months to do that. I had to talk to sources, I had to build trust with certain people within the municipality, I had to gain documents. And that for me really, even my family was concerned in the story because there were people who used to come and visit our house.
I covered a story that unpacked the number of children which are actually child murderers in the province. That story shook me to the core, but it was just so devastating to see such a high number, especially within the province. So what motivates me to come back here each and every day is knowing that I'm fighting for someone, I'm giving somebody a voice who would either be voiceless.
What motivates me is to see action being taken after an article is published. It's always about seeing a difference in someone's life.
It's the people. They still need their stories told. Whether, as I said, whether it's good or if it's bad or it's in between, there's someone somewhere out there, at least, that's doing something good, and we all need a little ray of sunshine. We all need a little hope.
Especially for local heroes, a lot of them have gained a lot of exposure through the Daily Dispatch, and sometimes I get phone calls saying, or messages saying, thank you so much for telling my story. This person contacted me and is willing to sponsor me for this and this, and it's really touching to see that and to realize that you've played a part in that person's small success in some way.
The local heroes is actually something that really excites me, and I say it excites me because it's the positivity that we're highlighting in the newspaper, and also to just show that each and every ordinary person has something they can give.
Going out and doing those stories, it motivates me to be a better person and to understand people better and to listen to people more and to realize that there's a little bit of good in the world.
Congratulations to everybody at Daily Dispatch. This is a passionate industry that I feel that is where my heart and soul is. So to see what you do, to see how you have been working tirelessly through, especially this time of COVID-19, it's been tough. Many instances putting your life on the line to get the story, to educate your readers. Well done, and I tip my hat to you. Our next speaker is Sherry Ann James, who is the editor of the Daily Dispatch.
Poet and civil rights activist Maya Angelou once said, "A hero is any person really intent on making this a better place for all people." Today, we honor the men and women who are driven by this desire to help others, often doing so without financial assistance. Their selfless deeds are an inspiration to many. Every year, the annual Local Heroes Awards recognizes the efforts of 12 individuals who have gone above and beyond to uplift those in need. In addition to honoring our 12 local heroes, today we also celebrate our frontline hero, someone who has been at the coalface of the COVID-19 pandemic. As the Daily Dispatch, we have been privileged to be able to tell the stories of these selfless citizens, and we hope it will inspire others to extend a helping hand. We would like to thank Johnson & Johnson, SPAR, Vincent Park, Boxer, and Boston City Campus and Business College for supporting this worthy campaign. To our local heroes, the work may seem daunting at times, but each of you has been a beacon of hope for your communities. We salute you.
Thank you very much, Sherry-Ann, and to you and your team, keep up the amazing work at the Daily Dispatch. Now we introduce our next local heroes, Mavu Ye Velile and Amandla Solani. The Walter Sisulu Municipality Ward Councillor Mavu Ye Velile Solani and his wife Amanda Solani started the Why I Am Here Foundation 4 years ago in the Mzamomhle community in Bagersdorp. They have dedicated their spare time and money to establish skills development programs, feeding schemes and clothing banks in the community. This is their story.
You must ask yourself a fundamental question, that what is it that you want to leave behind? Do you want to leave your area as you found it, or do you want to bring change? And if you want to bring change, you can start with the little that you have. It was in 2017, 2 children died from eating at the landfill site because there was no one in the community on that day to give them a meal. So that touched our hearts to say that we cannot sit back, we must do something. The project has a school project, feeding scheme, or other people call it a soup kitchen. I like to call it food on wheels, because I believe that there are people who cannot come to where we are, we must go to them. But on the school one, we distribute uniforms and sanitary towels, because there are children who stay away from school just because they can't access sanitary towels. So we do that as well. We feed about 70 people a day. We give them 1 meal a day, but it's about 70 members of the community. It's not only children. What makes us to continue even in tough times is when you see a little girl that did not have school shoes wear those shoes with pride and waking up the following day eager to go back to school to learn. The project is a clarion call to members of the community and society at large to say that all of us are here for a particular reason. All of us must contribute to help the next person. The call is that we must assist each other and help each other out so that we reduce the crime levels in our community.
Mavuye Velile and Amanda Solani, congratulations. You guys are such an inspiration. And we thank you with a 15,000 Rand cash prize sponsored by Boxer.
We want to thank Daily Dispatch and Johnson & Johnson for recognizing ordinary people who are trying to do extraordinary things. Your efforts are giving us impetus to continue with the work that we are doing. We want to thank you. We also appreciate the sponsor that we have received from Boxer stores. Sometimes we ask ourselves this question: why would people who want to make money give out something? But today we have received an answer that they also want to change the lives of those they serve. With those words, we are grateful to Boxer. We hope to partner with them in the future and other like-minded businesses to continue to change the lives of our people. As we conclude, we must ask ourselves, continue to ask this question: why are we here? What purpose has the Lord bestowed on each and every one of us? Are we going to leave this place as we found it, or are we going to make a change? And I believe all those who are gathered here today wants to make a difference to the lives of our people. Why Am I Here Foundation was formed for one reason and one reason only: to uplift and develop our communities. Thank you very much.
Our fifth local hero is Nhlanhla Mosele. Nhlanhla Mosele initiated a constitutional literacy project at Charles Morgan High School, which sees university law students and unemployed graduates teach the Constitution and Bill of Rights to school pupils in King Williamstown. Through this initiative, the Youth Service Agency hopes to provide an opportunity to enhance the knowledge and skills that will assist the youth in personal development and, of course, address their community's physical and social needs.
I grew up in an area where out of 10 kids, it's only one kid that becomes something. 9 of them end up in the streets. The project of Youth Service Agency started around in 2018. I've realized actually that young people knows very little about the constitution of the country. And then I decided, look, I must take this project to the classroom. One thing that made me realize that this is one of the most important projects was that kids knows little about their human rights, their freedoms that is enshrined in the Constitution. We make sure that they understand what is it that they should be proud of as young people, and what is expected as citizens of the country.
First of all, I was so amazed by the level of attention and the interest they accepted this whole project. And I've seen so many changes in their behaviors, because you find that in most cases we have these learner assault issues where they don't understand their rights and those things, fighting every time. But now those things have just escalated. They are no more visible at school. And when you go outside, you find that these learners have got more interest in leadership programs around the school, in their community as well.
In the next coming years, I see the project growing. I see young people becoming aware, because I'm instilling values, I'm instilling morals in these young kids, so that when they grow up, they become reliable and responsible citizens. I see a project where it produces capable leaders of tomorrow. To have a growing economy, it needs each and every one of us to play their roles in society.
Nhlanhla Mosele receives a 15,000 Rand cash prize sponsored by Boston City Campus and Business College. You're absolutely amazing, Nhlanhla. Keep up the amazing work.
Today I'm here to be honored and accept an award from the Daily Dispatch. I am deeply honored and grateful to have been chosen as one of the Daily Dispatch local heroes as a recipient of 2020. I am humbled because this award gives me an opportunity to reflect on my work, and it would also enable me to further go to other schools and educate and empower young people about the Constitution, which is the Constitutional Literacy Project, which I do in schools across Buffalo City. So I do believe that having this award today, having been honored and sponsored by Boston, and having been given an opportunity to have this course at Boston College, it is actually an honor, Penny. And I also think it will also contribute on my leadership skill to further conduct another programs and elsewhere. I would like to say I thank you, Daily Dispatch. I thank you, Boston City Campus, with everything that you have done.
Our next local hero is Sue Kitsman. Sue Kitsman has been on a mission to help as many animals in need as she can by establishing the Hilltop Animal Outreach NPO in 2010. The NPO helps stray, injured, hungry, and neglected animals. Sue's passion started when she and her daughter picked up a stray dog in need on the Northeast Expressway 12 years ago. She runs feeding and sterilization programs in Nompumelelo and Mzamontle. She medicates and feeds feral cat colonies and rehomes stray animals. Sue does her feeding rounds twice a week, helping more than 400 feral cats, and she turns no animal away. This year alone, she successfully rehomed 72 dogs and cats. Have a look at her story.
I picked up a dog going home on the Northeast Expressway after tennis one afternoon. It was quite late. I thought worried it was going to be knocked over. And I took it out to the SPCA and asked him if I could have a look around, and I realized there was a big need for help. When I first started, basically I was funding the whole project myself. I paid for everything. Even at the SPCA, if somebody came to adopt an animal, I always had some other money with me, and I'd say, well, don't you want to take their friend as well? I'll sponsor that friend.
So we've got different facets that we concentrate on. One, our primary is sterilization. So we've got, there's different vets that we work with, and we try and sterilize at least 3 animals a week, obviously cost dependent. We provide a lot of emergency care to special patients, so damaged animals, abused animals, that's our other area. And then we've got feeding colonies. So we've got designated colonies where we control population, we control their health, and we control their feeding. So they manage. We can't give them all a home, but at least make sure that they are healthy, fed animals with a shelter. We go through 90 kgs of pellets a week. We also cook chicken livers and rice. So that's about 2,000 Rand a week on the feral colonies. We've worked out that to raise one bottle baby from newborn is between 2,500 and 3,000 Rand on food and then their vaccinations. So the cost is heavy. We've lost lots of kittens, our newborn kittens. We've lost so many, but we've saved so many at the same time. So right now we're sitting with 40 kittens. We're at capacity, so we would not function without the foster mums at all. You can phone our foster mums day and night and they will come and collect. They fight for their babies. They give with everything. It's like it's their own. It's like their own child.
There are so many animals out there just wanting love and food and care. They want to be in homes. I actually try and speak for them.
Sue, what a story. This is 15,000 Rand for you. It's a cash prize sponsored by SPAR. Congratulations.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I'd like to have massive thank you to Jenny Lee from the Daily Dispatch and Johnson & Johnson for recognizing what the local heroes do in East London and recognizing what my mom, Sue Kitsman, does as our leader of Hilltop Animal Outreach. I'm her daughter Jenny. I'm co-founder with Mom. I am the behind the scenes. Mom is in the trenches. She deals with the cold face of animal welfare. So I'd just like to take this opportunity to, like I said, thank Daily Dispatch, thank Johnson & Johnson for recognizing the heroes within East London, and then a huge thank you to SPAR for their incredibly generous donation this year to our welfare. This last year has been, our COVID year has been a very tough year for everyone, but this year my mom has been able to distribute just under 4.5 tons of food to the needy in and around East London. We have collected and fixed and rehomed 147 felines. We've sterilized 302 animals. We have done so much work as a team when it's been really, really tough. So
Thank you very much, and thank you very much, SPA, for helping us to help the voiceless and those out there that really need us so badly.
I want to introduce our naming rights sponsor, Johnson & Johnson. They have been on board since the inception of the campaign in 2015. Johnson & Johnson is also behind the COVID-19 vaccine that we as South Africans will hopefully all soon be receiving in the next coming months or years perhaps. But the reality is they are doing all they can to protect us in this fight. Next, let's meet the site leader of Johnson & Johnson, Cindy Carter.
2020 was the year that finally saw the massive impact of a long-awaited global pandemic that showed us in fine detail how unprepared we have been to face something that had been predicted many years ago. The pandemic literally turned our worlds upside down. The planned response for most was to shelter in place to try to curb the deadly spread. For a small percentage of the population, however, this was a call to battle. Those that ran towards the danger were partially unprepared and had to learn as they fought. These are the heroic frontline workers, and just behind them in the background, the essential workers who also had to head out into the war. This evening, as you will have seen and will continue to see, we'll be celebrating our local heroes who showed up in this, the most difficult time in recent history. But before we continue, I'd like to tell you how my team responded when I informed them that South Africa would be going into a hard lockdown. But for us, we would have no choice but to ramp up. Of course, the first emotion when you understand the sacrifice is fear. It's fear for yourselves, it's fear for your families, and it's fear for your loved ones. My team and the supporting contractors completely understood the level of danger that they were in. They also understood the control measures that we had put in place to keep them and ourselves safe, and they never compromised. I must tell you that I witnessed courage as it is defined. Our people took action although they were terrified. They followed every instruction. They educated themselves, they educated their families, and they educated their communities. They asked questions, and they came to work, curfew or no curfew. They ramped up on the production of essential products to ensure that our communities would have what they needed. In fact, they volunteered to work longer and harder. When the demand for essential products soared, our absenteeism rate reached 0. I am extremely proud of the employees and supporting contractors at the Johnson & Johnson East London site. We honour our frontline workers for the amazing work that they are doing. And I would also like to honour all the essential workers that remained open throughout the lockdown, for they too are our heroes.
We've learned to live online, to keep 6 feet apart, to appreciate toilet paper. We've learned to blend family and work, and to cope with unemployment, sickness, and loss. We've also learned what the words dedication, professionalism, and compassion really mean. Now it's time we learned what our frontline health workers need from us. It's more than PPE, although that'd be a good start. It's access to the training and technology that can save time and lives. It's a platform so their experiences can inform public health policy for decades, and it's the care they need so they can care for the rest of us. That's why we at the Johnson & Johnson Center for Health Worker Innovation are putting $300 million to work to support frontline health workers around the world. If we solve the challenges they face, we will improve healthcare for everyone. Let's learn all the lessons from COVID-19. Let's back the front line.
Cindy, thank you very, very much to you and your team here in South Africa, not only for what you're doing in South Africa, but of course for what Johnson & Johnson are doing around the world for the fight against COVID-19. Now we're going back to announcing the final 6 local heroes and of course our frontline hero. Our 7th local hero is Vuyokazi Ngaka. In 2017, Kate Kamahuk-born Vuyokazi Ngaka found a school in need, Sopakami Sana High School in Scenery Park. She initially donated 10 dresses, which she made herself, and 25 pairs of shoes. Vuyokazi sews as a hobby, but she also called on friends to donate dresses, shoes, and handbags. By the time of the school's matric dance, she had collected 240 pairs of shoes, 50 dresses, and 25 clutch bags for the school, and has continued to do so every year. Here is her story.
In 2015, my sister was doing grade 12, so she was arranging the items for the matric dance. So the list was just endless. She wanted a dress, she wanted shoes, makeup, B&B, car hiring, nails, makeup, and that. After it costed like 10,000 rand, I was like, how much more to the less fortunate people? They can't afford. And believe me, everyone wants to go to that matric dance. Fortunately, during that year, I was owning a shop. We identified learners. I think it was like 20 learners, we got there. Then I had shoes, I had dresses from my shop. Then even friends, like they offered to help, to assist, So we gave them the principal so that the kids can actually attend the farewell. They were so excited because they even said, Sisi, I was not going to attend the farewell because I couldn't afford.
They all passed because this the help that Vuyo gave the school, it have another positive impact on their studies as well, because now they saw now how will they look like in the real world, so they studied very hard. They all passed.
Last year, COVID affected my project because there was no matric farewell because of the COVID. Even this year, it doesn't look like it's promising. But as soon as COVID, we are going to start again, because I want each and every town to at least identify one school that we can offer so that every learner who is less unfortunate can be able to attend the matric farewell.
Vuyokazi Ngaka receives a 15,000 Rand cash prize sponsored by Vincent Park. This is amazing. You have made young girls and boys feel like heroes, and that's exactly what you are.
Firstly, I would like to give a big thank you to Daily Dispatch, Johnson & Johnson, and all the sponsors and stakeholders for creating this incredible platform for the community to be able to recognize and nominate their local heroes. This is very incredible. It's encouraging. Also, I'd like to give a big thank you to the community who have nominated my name as their local hero. I did what I did, not expecting any reciprocation, but I was doing as little as I can to improve in the community and make a difference. And also to Vincent, as my sponsor, thank you very much for actually being touched with the work that I do. I am encouraged, and also I think I am very encouraged, and I'll do more. Lastly, I would like to plead with my friends, members of the community, to at least provide as little help as they can so that we can have a better Eastern Cape and a better South Africa. Thank you.
Let's meet our next local hero, Monique Lottering. Monique Lottering runs a recycling service called Smart Waste Ed, established in 2007, that she runs from her home in Greenfields in her spare time. Through the Echo business venture, Monique helps support 5 local charities. Here is her story.
Smart Wasted started in 2017. So it's always, my passion has always been helping people, and it has become very difficult with our economy. I always just want to take food from my mouth and put it in the mouths of other people. With that, I saw there are lots of people that are starting to inquire about recycling. I actually thought, why don't I start something whereby we collect recycling from households, and the profits of the recycling that we have sold, we donate to local charities. That way, everybody in East London can become involved with 2 worthwhile causes. So then in 2017, it was actually just my domestic worker and I. Her name is Macy. So I said, Macy, people want to start recycling. It's me and you and my car. We have to start collecting people's recycling. Back then, I could only do probably 3 or 4 trips a day, where I'd go after work. I'd go to maybe 4 people after work, collect their recycling, come home where Macy would sort it, and then on my way to work the next day, I would go and drop it off at DNF. That's how it went for about almost a year. And I employed another person to help Macy in the garage as well. Unfortunately, there are so many charities that would like to support, but I've only chosen the 4. The one is the Sinsa Soup Kitchen. And then what we do is the King's Children's Home. We send them a veggie parcel every 2 weeks as well. And then Buckaroo, we send them a monetary donation, as well as helping those in need. We send them a monetary donation as well every month. When I talk about growth, when I wanted to grow, I just want to do more. I want to be supporting more charities in 5 years, feeding more mouths in 5 years, keeping more waste off the streets in 5 years. I'm totally happy with that. That's where I see it in 5 years.
Monique Lottering, congratulations. You receive a 15,000 Rand cash prize sponsored by Johnson & Johnson.
We are absolutely thrilled to be receiving this award. I must mention with sadness that my team can't be here this evening because of COVID regulations, which we understand, but they would have loved to have been here. I doubt we'd be here if it wasn't for the many people who believed in our cause. Recycling does require a certain amount of dedication, which really isn't easy to find. I mean, working with waste, it isn't exactly a glamorous job. And receiving this award is a great pleasure. It means the world to us because it's doing what we love and doing what we're passionate about and enthusiastic about. Thank you to the Daily Dispatch for nominations for 2 consecutive years. 2021 is a year that we bring our A game, and we hope to make bigger and better recycling efforts across East London, both for the environment and for charity. On behalf of myself and my team, thank you, Johnson & Johnson, for sponsoring us. I'm deeply moved and eternally grateful for the recognition we've received from an establishment such as yours. Thank you for honoring our efforts. This award has given us a real boost in our morale, making us want to do more, go further, and push harder. It's great to see that our efforts don't go unnoticed, and that there are people that honor us as local heroes.
Our next local hero is Nomisa Hani. Nomisa Hani has fed and empowered children in her community since 1998. Nomisa's skills as an auxiliary social worker at child welfare in Kenton has enabled her to identify vulnerable children who may need counseling and support. She has assisted more than 60 children almost every single day. Since then, she has added daily learning activities, homework classes, and awareness talks for the children who range from ages 6 to 14. The soup kitchen is self-funded except for the monthly donation of bread from child welfare and donations from the community. This is her story.
The project yami ndayiqala ngo-1998 ngenxa yothanda abantwana. Xa ndihamba esitratweni ndadibana nabantwana during the day. They supposed to be at school, but I met them and I collect them to my house. Luthando, kuthanda abantwana. I love the children. And I don't want to see the children vulnerable to be in the street. After school, baze apha endlini yam batye ukutya bafunde nofunda sibancedisa nangofunda because abanye bahlala noomakhulu abadala bangakwazi ubenzisa ii-homeworks zabo baxhenze benze nee-activities ezibalulekileyo ezi-activities like i-traditional dance plus nee-awarenesses bayazi into bangabana nange-types ze-abuse kubalula into bangabana to assess them if umntana une-problem. I-feeding scheme ibalulekile kakhulu because abantwana siphila kwi-community yethu, it is an underprivileged community and most of the parents are not working. They only live on grants, 420 rands, which is not enough to feed the children. So the feeding scheme, it helps them a lot. From 1998, I started with 12 children, but up and now I'm feeding about plus minus 60 children. I identify them from the families that are unemployed. Most of the children that are coming here they don't have parents. And this feeding scheme, it also motivates or encourages them to go to school every day. They pass their grades, no absentees. It encourages or motivates them to go to school every day. I feel like a mother to many kids, but because they always feel free to come at my place. But sometimes a few people, they open their homes for children, but me, I feel like a mother.
Nomisa Hani, you are an absolute inspiration, and you receive 15,000 Rand in cash, which has been sponsored by Daily Dispatch.
I would like to thank Daily Dispatch and Johnson & Johnson for the opportunity they organize for allowing me to be part of the big event, and also thank my frontline supporters, family and friends, my son for taking initiative of nominating my name organization, Gladys Hani Helping Hands Soup Kitchen, and not forgetting my one and only one stakeholders, the Engert family, the Child Welfare Kendon Bushman's organization. I thank you.
Before I reveal our last few heroes, I want to share news of a special project, the 2020 Local Heroes Mandela Day Project. Last year, despite COVID-19 and the lockdown, Daily Dispatch kept the tradition they had started in 2019 alive by partnering with Johnson & Johnson, Boxer, and 2019 Local Heroes finalist John Goodrich. United High School in Cambridge, East London, had no computer lab and was selected as one of their 2020 Mandela Day beneficiaries. Daily Dispatch and the East London community donated computers to the school. Johnson & Johnson equipped the school with internet connectivity, and John contributed his time and skills to fix 11 of the donated computers. Boxer, a first-time sponsor of the Local Heroes Awards, donated 20,000 Rand to 2019 Local Heroes finalist Sella Doyle to assist her with her soup kitchen. Daily Dispatch thanks all involved for making a difference on Mandela Day 2020, especially during one of the most traumatic years in our history. Have a look at the video of the 2020 Mandela Day project and see for yourself what is possible when good people collaborate.
If you are walking down the street and you have a bread under your arm and there's somebody that's hungry, break him off a piece and give it to him. If more of us did this kind of thing, there would be so much less need.
The spirit of Mandela Day means the passion, it's the love for kids, and the fact that because of Mandela, we got freedom in our country. Ever since last year, I've been nominated as one of the local heroes. Brian from Clean Slate and Boxer partnership with me, as well as a few individuals that was at the event. The help that I got from Boxer, it was a lot of stuff. Champagne beans, chicken, it was hectic.
Boxer has a long
history of assisting the communities in which the Daily Dispatch writes on behalf of. Although we assist numerous communities in the Eastern Cape, we felt it would be a perfect opportunity for us to engage with the Local Hero campaign and to support and acknowledge the local heroes.
So something that I really didn't expect. Got a deep freezer. I've got a lot of stuff to the value of 20,000 rand.
Boxer came on board and they want to support a 20,000 rand donation towards Cilla Doyle. We went out, we purchased a couple of things for her. One of the things which is so simple that she needed was a deep freezer. She said that she would receive donations from people of meat, but then she couldn't accept the donation because she was unable to freeze it and she had to turn it away. And it was something so simple, but by getting that donation from Boxer, being able to purchase a deep freezer for her, we have enabled her to continue doing the good that she's doing.
One of my mottos in life is I've got to help at least one person every day. I received this phone call from the Dispatch. They want to partner up with me and do something for Mandela Day. And they suggested a school which doesn't have computers, and if we could do something about this, I said I'm in all the way.
We had upgraded a few years ago and we delivered our computers to John Goodrich to fix for the school. He was able to repair 11 of them and we delivered it to the school this morning. For me it was such a privilege to listen to the learners and to find out what those computers mean to them.
Most of us here at school are less privileged, so we don't normally use cell phones or computers because we don't have them. So now this is going to be helpful. Now we're going to learn more about how to work with computers as well, because most of us don't even know computers.
One of the core values of the Johnson & Johnson Credo is being responsible for the community in which we live. That is why being a part of Mandela Day is important to us as a company. John Goodrich's heart and his willingness to give back to the community is what makes him a true local hero. We are very grateful to partner with the Daily Dispatch and for all John's hard work in restoring these computers, which will open up a whole new world to the learners of Anati High School.
I think Mandela Day to us, it means that we have an opportunity to be part of the community. You know, we deliver news to our readers, to the community of East London and the broader Eastern Cape, but we are more than just a news brand and a media brand. We are part of the community and we're invested in them. Their success is our success.
Amazing work done for Mandela Day by everyone involved. Absolutely inspiring. I hope that this year is even bigger and better, because as you say, working together, nothing is impossible. All right, are you ready now to reveal our final 3 local heroes? Well, I am. And let's also meet our frontline hero. That's coming up in a short while. Our next local hero is Michelle Riley. Michelle Riley is a house mother and coordinator at Breath of Life, established in 2009. At the center, they care for abused and unwanted babies and help pregnant women in crisis. Over the years, the organization has homed 195 babies and counseled more than 25,800 women. Although they can only care for 6 babies due to the limited capacity, Michelle and her team have cared for 76 babies at one given time. Michelle has said that they have never turned away a baby that falls into the age range of newborn to 18 months. Have a look at her story.
When we get calls from social workers to say they have a baby to be placed in our nursery, I think that's challenging. Perhaps that the baby could come to us in quite a state. The baby could be abused, abandoned, neglected, malnourished. I feel very called by God to be here, to be the voice for the voiceless, to step in that gap between the unsafe and moving on to their next, the next life journey. And so that's why I'm still here, because my work is not done. To be able to see a baby heal while they are living with us, to see the joy in an adoptions family's face when they become a family for the first time, to work with a mom going through a crisis, to even be able to reunite a baby with their biological family. That's what keeps me here, because I feel that the good outweighs the bad.
My experience with dealing with Michelle and Breath of Life has been one of warmth and nurture, and every time I visited there was a knowing that these babies are taken care of. Michelle looks after the babies as if they're her own, and I know she departs with them as well as if they were her own.
So a lot of people ask me, aren't you sad when babies leave? And it's a yes and a no, because it's a very happy sad. You know, each child for me is not just a number. It's a little person with a heart and a soul. And I think when you look into those eyes and you see the joy and the excitement and those little arms wrapped around your neck, I mean, that joy you can't get anywhere else.
Michelle Riley, you and your team are absolute angels. We give you 15,000 Rand, just a small token of appreciation for what you do. And this cash prize has been sponsored by SPAR.
I want to say God's promise to each of us is of a hope and a future. Many women and children don't feel that is the case when they seek out Breath of Life. Our prayer is that each of these ladies and children who cross our path get to feel that hope and feel that there is a future and that their future is bright. I'd like to thank SPAR and all the other major sponsors, as well as the Daily Dispatch Local Hero platform. Because of you, we are able to stand in that gap. I'd love to dedicate this award to my team that stands with me, because I cannot do this on my own. I'd also like to dedicate it to every single ordinary person just like me who stands in the gap. Who stands in that gap and dedicates their lives to help others. God has placed you there for a reason. Helping one person might not change the world, but for that one person, their world is changed. Keep on keeping on. God bless you all.
Our next local hero is Lwazi Mlondolozi. Lwazi Mlondolozi established the Imditsane Eagles Baseball Club in 2013. Intending to revive the sports in Imditsane, but it ended up evolving into something more than that. After a ball crashed through his parents' house in 1995, Mlondolozi met the late Billy Magengelele, a local baseball coach who encouraged him to grab a bat and take a swing. Lwazi has since given back to his community by coaching young children in baseball to take them off the streets, away from substance abuse and crime. By 2015, Lwazi had breathed enough life into the sport in the area for 6 schools to take part in the Imditsane Schools baseball fixture that he created. Today, the fixture draws more than 300 children from 14 schools around Imditsane. Here is his story.
When I started playing, it was a ball hitting a window in my house. So when I returning the ball back to the field, the coach asked me to grab a bat and hit the ball. It's something different because I've played cricket, I've played rugby at school. Like I played almost every sport, but baseball was still unique because something different. It took my time off from the streets, most of my time off the streets. So I was going to school and come back and get to the field. And it all started here in this field. Every time I come home, like it's quiet and you see the kids bumping on the road and stuff. So I decided, no, let me ask around. The last person was responsible and trying to revive it back. Actually, on my tournaments, when the schools are gathered together, we get about 300 kids to up to 400 on tournaments. So on different schools, you get about 50 kids, different schools. So we do school visits also. But on the club level, we have about maybe 50 kids that are coming in and out. When you have a lot of stresses of work and stuff, but when you come to the kids, they will humble you.
I learned that in baseball, things don't just come easy. You have to work hard, very hard. So things can be very difficult sometimes, but when things get difficult, it means you're close to succeeding. So that means never to give up. Things get difficult when you play. Even when we were at a bye, we won some 3 games, lost some, but still we come back smiling and wanting more games to play.
My main aim is to at least have financial stability to be able to go and participate in national tournaments, because that's the main challenge now, because we can practice and then we organize projects locally, but when it comes to have to go out, it's a bit of a challenge. The first thing that makes me feel good is when I'm driving by coming back home, when the kids will ask me down the street, "Coach, when are we going to the field?" or "When are we playing?" That's one of the best.
Lwazi Mdlozi, you are amazing. And we give you 15,000 Rand in cash. And this has been sponsored by SPAR.
Now, I just want to thank SPAR for sponsoring the event. I'd like to thank the stakeholders and the initiative done by Johnson & Johnson and Daily Dispatch for this great initiative of Local Heroes. I'd like to thank the person who nominated me, whom I don't know, but I want to thank that person. Also, I want to thank my supporters, my colleagues in sport, my family and friends that have always been there for me, and my club also. Most of all, my coach, Bilma Gengelele, may his soul rest in peace. I'd like to thank him for introducing me to the code. And also my sponsors overseas, Play Global, who took initiative to come and support us in Africa. I would like to thank them also. And foremost, I'd like to thank Daily Dispatch for the publicity and time to give us a chance to be shown out there, to build our communities and expose our sports and work that we do in the communities. Thank you.
Our final local hero is Tracy King. Tracy King decided to establish the King's Children's Home in 2008 after someone left an 8-month-old baby at her doorstep. She has since taken in 40 children from the ages 0 to 7 years, offering them a safe space to stay, warm meals, clothing, and schooling. In total, Tracy and her husband have 9 children, 3 of her own and 6 adopted, because of her passion for assisting underprivileged children. Here is her story.
My staff call me Nolusapo. That's the Xhosa name they've given me, which means mother of many. And that is the role that I find myself playing every single day. Being a mom to many, many children who need love and who need care, who need food, who need to be clothed, who need to be educated. Well, in 2008, a little baby was abandoned in the bushes opposite our home, and police retrieved the baby, stepped across the road, came and knocked on my sliding door and handed me this baby and asked if we would just care for him for a few days. The end result of that was that we ended up adopting him, and the day that we walked out of the courts after adopting Benjamin, my husband turned and said to me, "If we can help one child, we can help more than one." And so Benjamin's adoption really became the catalyst for the work that I now find myself doing. Our focus is to place children back into a family unit. So we will do that either through reunification back into their own families, or through the foster care program, or through adoption. We've been operating now for 13 years, and we've had over 260 children that we've looked after in that time. The force that drives me is that I am passionate about Jesus, and He is really my driving force. I want to be His hands and feet and show the love of Christ to these children. But I'm also passionate about children, and I count it an incredible privilege just to make a difference, no matter how big or small it is, in that child's life day by day. I think I will always be a mom. That is my nature. That is the heart that God has put in me. But the heart of the project, which is our children, that must never change.
Tracy King, you are amazing. And we give you 15,000 Rand in cash prize, which has been sponsored by SPA.
Wherever I go, people always ask me the same question. How do you do what you do? And my answer is always the same. It's God's grace every single day. Above all, I just want to honor the Lord my God, who simply placed within me a mother's heart, and it is to that call that I have responded. There's no greater joy for me than loving and caring for these children in our city who so desperately need a mother. From the first time in 2008 that my family and I took in our first baby, we have strived to live by this statement: live simply so that others may simply live. Thank you again for your love, your care, and your support, and for seeing the worth in me to receive this award.
Those are our incredible top 12 local heroes of 2020. But don't go anywhere, we've got one last announcement, and this is the recipient for the Johnson & Johnson Frontline Hero Award. Daily Dispatch and Johnson & Johnson dreamt this award into life in 2019. This was long before they knew that COVID-19 would so drastically and devastatingly affect the lives of our communities, of our families, of our country, in fact, the world at large. Daily Dispatch launched the call for nominations of this award at the beginning of lockdown in 2020, asking readers to nominate someone they know who works in the services industry, public or private sector, who goes well beyond the call of duty to serve, assist, and support their community. Nominees could work in any industry and in any job or profession where their primary responsibility is to serve. Daily Dispatch readers submitted multiple nominations for doctors, nurses, and emergency services personnel, all doing selfless work for their communities, braving the unknown and putting their own lives and those of their families at risk. However, there could only be one recipient of the Frontline Hero Award. And here is her story.
It's a passion, I think. It's a God-given gift, which transpired as early as from 13 years, when I used to go about in my community helping people. That went to an extent that I had to go and train as a nurse, following all that, that vision. When I come here to the clinic, what I do to the health workers, I see to it that they are trained of things like the basic knowledge of nursing. The most thing that makes me, to cry the most is when I see our people, sort of idling with no jobs, because most of the people are sick. We are dealing with a sick society, people with TB, the others, they've got HIV, and then the others are not employed. I'm hoping and seeing that God is going to answer my prayers by letting, letting these new nurses of this generation of nurses coming and willing to come and nurse, because they have seen me, old as I am, old as I was, doing the job that they're supposed to be doing. My colleagues, if you really and truly you are a nurse, or you are calling yourself a nurse, don't just do nursing where you feel it's comfortable. You can also go out there in the rural where it's dry and cold. That is where you can prove yourself that really and truly God has really called you to do the work you are doing.
Ethel Kresher, thank you for being a light during one of the darkest times in your community. We cannot thank you enough for what you do. You're absolutely incredible. We thank you again.
Heroes we regard as people with special abilities. Today I'm honored to be one, although sometimes we weren't aware of them, but we strive to change the world, to transform from norm to extraordinary. There's this need, this quest to solve life's mysteries when the simplest of questions can never be answered. Why are we here? Perhaps it would be better not looking at all, not dwelling, not yearning. That's not human nature. The human heart tells us why we are here. Thanks, Johnson & Johnson, for your generosity, encouraging people to be good citizens. To me, you deserve a statue, so that even generations to come need to see there was a company named Johnson & Johnson in East London. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
We've got a special message from all of the sponsors for each of the local heroes and, of course, our frontline hero. Take a look.
There are many people in the service industry whose work is more than just a job to them. It's a calling. Sister Croatia is a perfect example of such a hero. While most people are resting and enjoying their retirement, she is still living out this calling by motivating and inspiring other nurses to give back to the community.
Klaus Rademan, Vincent Park is very proud of your efforts and your commitment that you have shown. Being a pensioner, what it does tell us that it doesn't matter how old you are, that you can still make a positive contribution in the lives of others and those that are less fortunate than many people find themselves in.
We at SPA are proud to be able to celebrate Tracy and recognize everything that she has done. One of our mantras at SPA is that a small difference can make a huge change. And Tracy, you are making a huge, huge change in the lives of so many children. You're very, very special. Thank you.
Thank you for seeing the needs around you, caring enough to do something, and then being the change. Your love uplifts and empowers so many children. Thank you for doing what you are doing. You are a true local hero.
Wheelbound, she is a very, very special person. But I'd like to read Nisha's quote from her blog. Life is still extraordinary because I have decided that though I have cerebral palsy will never have me. It will always be there, but much like my eye colour, it will never define me.
We are thrilled to be part of this sponsorship that we're offering to Mr. Mosele, who's been nominated in the Local Heroes Award. Particularly why we're so excited about this particular nomination is that he is such an inspiration for the youth, teaching them the constitutional, the laws, and what the rights and wrongs are before they actually get out of school already.
It's truly amazing to see the wonderful work that Sue is doing in restoring the lives of these animals. This is not just a job for Sue. It takes a special type of person to give back to the community like this. We would like to offer our sincere congratulations to Sue, and we wish her well with her future plans.
Michelle Riley, Breath of Life. We at SPA love to celebrate women. We love to celebrate women in business, women in sport, women in all walks of life. For us to be able to celebrate a woman like you is very, very special, Michelle. You are an angel.
Vuyo Ngaka, Vincent Park is very proud of the contributions that you have made to the lives of unfortunate people and scholars in particular, whereby you made their dream come true when they reached a milestone of exiting the school year with a matric farewell, and you've made it possible to pupils that ordinarily could not afford that, and your efforts have made their dreams come true. Makes me think that you are the fairy godmother in the tale of Cinderella.
Lwazi Mlondolozi in Tanzania Eagles Baseball Club. Sport has the power to change the world. It has the power to inspire. It has the power to unite people in a way that little else can. It speaks to the youth in a language that they understand. But for lesser priority sports like baseball, it is very difficult. It takes time, it takes courage, it takes a passion to be able to use your sport to bring people together.
Monique Lottering exemplifies two of the core values of Johnson & Johnson: caring for the environment and the community involvement. She is a true local hero, working towards making a difference and setting the example for others to follow.
On behalf of Boxer Superstores, we would like to congratulate you both, Mabuyeva Lile and Amandla Solani, when it comes to your Why Am I Here Foundation and your well-deserved Local Hero Awards. You have definitely impacted and changed many people within the communities in which you serve. We would also like to celebrate all the fine effort that you've applied to Mzamonhle, and in terms of creating the skills programs and skills developments that are in place, and for being able to provide the tools that provide relief to those who really need it.
So we at SPAR have got a very soft spot for animal welfare, and we're very proud to be able to celebrate and recognize all of the work that you and Jenny and all your helpers do in making the lives of these animals just a little bit better. Thank you.
Thank you to everyone who has joined us this evening to reveal the top 12 local heroes of 2020 and the frontline hero. Thank you for having me. Thank you for letting me be a part of this incredible ceremony. Also, a massive thank you to our sponsors who made this evening possible, including Johnson & Johnson, SPAR, Vincent Park, Boxer, and Boston City Campus and Business College. Congratulations to you, the top 12 local heroes of 2020 and our frontline hero. Tonight, you have inspired all of us. I am completely inspired. I just wish I was there to meet you all, to hug you, and to just be in your inspired company. But it wasn't to be. But hopefully next year we can do this again, but together. Keep up the good work and continue to be the light. The call for nominations for the 2021 Local Heroes Award opens on Monday. It's on the 1st of March. We're just getting bigger and bigger, and we want to celebrate these local heroes because I know that there are so many more just like you out there. Make sure you submit your nomination to localheroes@dispatch.co.za. You don't get thanked for the work that you do. You do it because you love it. You do it because it's a calling. But we want to thank you. So please submit into the Local Heroes competition. We really need to celebrate you for everything that you do in your communities. Once again, let's have a final look at our 2020 Local Heroes. Thank you and have a wonderful evening. From me, Leanne Manus. Goodbye.